Following up now on the OLCC spot checks over the weekend. OLCC inspectors checked on 800 businesses across Oregon over the three-day holiday weekend. Inspectors issued 74 verbal instructions to bars and restaurants. This gives the businesses a chance to immediately correct whatever it is they're doing wrong rather than get a formal violation. 48 businesses in Southern Oregon were checked. 10 of them got the verbal warning. There are 8 bars or restaurants in the entire state that were referred to Oregon OSHA for violations. None of them are in Southern Oregon. The OLCC is also looking into 3 cases where bars have violated non-coronavirus rules. The OLCC and Oregon OSHA have been coordinating business checks. On Newswatch 12 at 4, you heard from the OLCC about those spot checks. We also spoke with Oregon OSHA about what's being referred to them and what happens next. So how busy were your investigators or OLCC investigators over the big holiday weekend?
Well, the OLCC investigators were quite busy. So they did a sweep over the 4th of July weekend. It was done in coordination with Oregon OSHA, and this has been an effort on the part of state government to coordinate this. We were on standby, and OLCC did not need our immediate help. However, there have been some cases that have come out of the OLCC sweep that they have referred to us, and we will be following up on those.
Now, as I understand it, none of those referrals came from a city in Southern Oregon. If someone, a civilian, has something they think might be in violation, how do they get it to you?
That's a great question. So they can easily file a complaint online with Oregon OSHA. So what we're doing is we're encouraging workers, members of the public who may be concerned about certain requirements, for example, the face covering requirement, social distancing. We're encouraging them to use our online hazard reporting form, and that can be found at OSHA or oregon.osha.gov.
Now, for most people who walk into a business and they think someone is out of compliance, assuming it's not a bar or a restaurant, would your organization be the one to contact to try and find out if that business is out of compliance?
Yeah, so Oregon OSHA is kind of taking the lead on enforcement of this issue. And so if someone's concerned about a workplace not following the requirements, then they can certainly come to us. I mean, they're also free to raise the issue at first with the employer, but we absolutely are prepared to take complaints and concerns and follow up on those. It's really in the Oregon OSHA context of a workplace hazard and this public health crisis that we face. And our assessment will be really focused on the potential for worker exposure, the customers inside the establishment, folks coming in, and they need to be wearing that face covering. And so our focus here is really the exposure, the potential exposure to COVID-19 in an establishment, particularly when we're talking about workers, the employees of the establishment.
So it really is a situation where you're talking about not only customers seeing violations, but those who may be working for an employer that employee may feel is not in compliance, correct?
Absolutely. So we can absolutely take complaints from workers who feel that something may be off. We will take them from customers as well if they see something. To the degree possible, we look for specificity, substantive allegations, and we will certainly take those complaints and follow up on them.
I guess my next question would be, if an employee feels their employer is out of compliance, is that employee protected in terms of confidentiality?
Yes, and in fact, that begins from the get-go with the fact that people have a right to a safe and healthy workplace. I can't say that enough. It begins with the fact that you have a right in Oregon to a safe and healthy workplace, and we can absolutely extend the legal protection of confidentiality to an employee if they so choose. And that process is set up in that way so that we can evaluate concerns and go forward.
The OLCC does say Josephine County had a few businesses out of compliance during the checks. And coming up on Newswatch 12 at 6, we're talking to a county commissioner about what's being done to support businesses.